All right, welcome back to Decode Traders Hub. Yes, good morning, and of course, I don't know where you're watching from or where you're streaming from, but here in Uganda, it is a good morning. Yeah, we just it's just 10:30 as usual East African time. So as usual, if it is your first time to be here, you're new here, please go ahead and subscribe, and of course if you don't mind, you can still go ahead and give us a thumbs up, and let's get started. Yeah, I don't mind having that thumbs up as we get started. Thanks for those who have already done that. It means a lot to the community, to Decode Traders Hub, and to me, of course. Yeah, right about now, let's get into prayer as we start. Father, we give you praise, we love you. Thank you for yet another day that we are back here to analyze and look into the charts, check the market, analyze, get insights, Lord, that you unfold to us as we check the charts, Lord, to be able to get good signals and be able to make money today. We say thank you for yesterday's profits. Thank you that we made money, and even the losses that were there, if no one had recovered, we know that they are going to recover today. We give you praise for the recovery, and of course we give you praise for the profits that we are also making today. We give you praise, we love you. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. All right, thank you guys for joining in, and now let's get started. Of course, as usual, you know the drill. Crash 500 is our first asset on the list, and that's where we start from. Right, so all right, we saw yesterday, let me first get to M15, it's right here. So we saw yesterday, right here, this is where we were yesterday. We saw this was a falling wedge, and it had just reacted to this order block, and I saw that, and we had first made an entry here. I told you that I should actually move out because I anticipated a fake breakout down below to come and test this order block again, and that's what happened. After moving out there, it came all the way down, and that's where it activated my buy limit order. Those who remember, I had put my buy limit order right here, so it was activated and hit my target right there. I was looking for that, and then eventually when it hit, it reacted with one candle and then went all over to the other second TP, of which I did not take. I wanted that and I moved out of it with that, so I didn't hold for that, hit my TP and moved out. When it reacted here, I entered another trade. That is the one that I was supposed to actually hold and push that side, but uncertainty, when you know that there is you're looking for sales, you're near the oversold level, I wasn't okay with holding, so I moved out of the market with some good profits, and it went all over up to that H4 order block. Is it an H4 order block? Let's check. Yeah, to that H4 order block. Currently, that's where we are, and now if I go to H1, I can easily delete everything right here. We no longer need that on M15 and H1. So we saw that as a break of structure again right there, so this can go now. That was a break of structure, and clearly now we know that we are oversold according to H4, not H1. H1 on CCI says we are not yet oversold, but it doesn't matter because daily time frame has reached a support, a resistance, but not that is that important. We want to see if on H4 it will be important, because we still have that other side also. We still have that other level also. So now that I have that, just go back to H4. So on H4 we have a break of structure right there. That was a break of structure right there. So if we have that, then we know price can easily look for a pullback, just like it did here, just like it did there. That was a break of structure. It came back to the breaker block. So we've seen that countless times. That's how the market moves when it is in a trend. So if I go to H1, then what I need is price to react back here and probably fail to go back, and then we come in with sales according to H4. But remember, H1 is still buying, M15 wants sales. So do we have a break of structure here? I believe we do. So we have to wait for, we can't just enter any sales if we don't have a clear setup. So for now, the buys are still on. The buys are still on. It's going to sell probably back to just around here, probably may sell to reach that level and then get back into the buys. Now if it reacts to this level and goes back into the buys and it fails to break that previous high right there, then we know we will be having an advantage for a reversal signal. But for now, we know that even on M15 and M5 we have a break of structure, so we can't just take that away. But according to H1, that's not a break of structure right there. The break of structure is right here, and we've seen this as a pullback to the breaker block right here, right there. This candle was a pullback to where we saw the break of structure right here on H1. So if I go to H4, yes, I still need this pullback, and that's where this M5 is going to come in. I'm going to see this, then probably this sell will come in to reach this other H4 breaker block. This will be H4 breaker block right there where I have that trend line. I think that's it for me on this asset. Let's now head over to another asset. So we can leave this on M5, even M15 or even M5, and you'll be having these levels to take out as your TP level, or even this other breaker block level right there. All right, that is crash 500. Now let's get to boom 1000. Boom 1000. Now boom 1000, it was a tricky one, and I did not share this signal. Let me first see yesterday. Oh yes, yesterday we went in with a sell. Yeah, this one I shared. We went in with this sell. This one I shared yesterday. So let's go to H1, M15, drag this right here. So yesterday this sell, let me see, what time was it? Oh yes, this sale I remember sharing it. So those who are on VIP, you know that we made that sale. Yeah, we went in for that sale, and our TP was hit, but even it exceeded. Just like I had analyzed in the morning yesterday, I told you we will anticipate a pullback to this order block or to this fair value gap, but it went even, it exceeded, gave us a fake breakout, went to this order block on M15. That's where it reacted from. That's where this momentum buy move started from. So it came, reacted to it, and the buys started again. But of course, I was not in the market. I missed. I was waiting for this, so I didn't get a signal to enter buy, so I did not enter. But that's what we had anticipated, the buys to get up there, and they reached the level. Of course, that other H1, was it H1? Yes, the resistance right here, this resistance right there, after coming here. So from there we saw price react right here on this other resistance. We saw price reacting there, and when it gave me something like that on M15, when it gave me something like this on M15, I knew that I had a chance to sell this asset. It gave me a double top right there. This was a neckline, but of course I had already seen this on M5 right there. This was on M5. So if I go to M5, I had already seen this. So this was just like a retest. So I made my entry of sales. Of course, the first one was taken out. This was the first entry. It took me out on my stop loss, and immediately I made another entry. And this is what I told some of the guys, that most of the times deriv tracks where I have my sales. So took it out, and immediately sales began after taking me out right there. You can see this is M5, and the sell, this one I left running overnight, and it hit my TP right there, because I was anticipating price coming back here and probably reversing, but it actually went all over down below. And let's see where it went actually. So go to H1, went all the way back into this other triangle. This is a triangle, delete that. This is like a triangle, so this was like a fake breakout, and that means we are continuing to sell. That means we are likely to continue with sells, but H1 is not yet confirming that, so first remove that. Now this right here, this is what we have. This is a trend line down below, which is a support trend line. This was our resistance trend line, but now we saw that as a fake breakout. So now we see sales come in on H1. H4, remember, we still are looking for sales. That's why I'm saying we are still looking for sales, and this is how we are going to see them. This is how we are going to see them. This will be our TP right there, just below there, just below here, or below here. Those will be the TP levels right there. So of course there's that second one. From there to here, this will be another level. So this likely tells you that we are still in a downtrend. We are still looking for sales. We are still looking for sales. So if I know that, then I can go to daily time frame, see what is happening. Daily, this support has not been broken, it's still holding. And but if you know, you already know that this was a break of structure right there, this was a retest, but then price is failing to break this. So if price comes now again on H4, if price comes and fails to break this support, then we are going to see buys. That is for sure. If price comes to this support and fails to break it, then we will see buys. But then there is breaking it and coming to this target, then getting to buys again. That will be a fake breakout. You have to know that. Remember, according to H4, we still have this move that I showed you. So move that, we still have this one right here. And this one, I've told you, is likely to bring us here or here. So I want to go with this one, and that's what I'll be anticipating. Price to continue with sales and bring me here, give me a fake breakout from on a daily time frame kind of analysis, and then from then I'll be anticipating buys according to daily time frame. But let's wait and see what it has in store. So for now, if I go back to H1, I want to delete all these that have already served us well, and remove this for now. I don't see it going back all the way up. So now that we have a clean chart, we are seeing some sells on H4, but then H1 says buys. But how can it be buys when we saw this? This was a pullback all the way to that fair value gap. It's not. It means we are looking for sales. It means we are looking for sales. Please remember, we are on boom 1000, not crash. I'd forgotten to change that. So we are on boom 1000. So this was a pullback to that change of character, and now we need sales. So if I go to M15, if I go to M15, clearly you will see that that was a change of character there, pull back there, and now we are continuing with sales. That is clear. All right, so if I have that, why am I seeing some rejection? Why am I seeing some rejection right here? It's weird, but it's not going to stop us from looking for sales. I will just wait for this hour to close and see the next hour. Let me go to M5, understand, okay, M5 is looking for some buys. So where would the buys go according to M5? I will just do this and look at premium zone right there. If I see premium zone, go to M15, what is there? Of course, it's a fair value gap. It will depend on that. According to M30, we need sales. All right, I think we are now good to go. We're good to go. So we know price is likely to react there and then get us into sales again. Yes, into sales again. So for now, I have no business with boom 1000. Either it goes there and gives me an entry, or it breaks out, right here and continues with the sell. So that's how I'm going to be looking at this asset. All right, enough of boom 1000. Let's get to boom 500. Now, boom 500, I clearly told you we have no business with it yesterday. Yeah, why? Because it had hit that support level and it was going to consolidate. That's what I told you, and clearly you can see what it did the whole day. It was playing around. So that is not trade that I can engage myself in. That is not trade I can engage myself in. So that is what we see right there. Up to now, I see it as a no-go for me because it is failing to break that resistance. I can even push it now a bit below, right there. It is failing to break this support level right here. So it tells us that we may see some buys. Let's go to daily time frame. Daily time frame, we need buys, but then this can be seen as a pennant on daily time frame, and if it becomes a pennant, then sales will continue. But then before sales continue, for pennants, normally we may see a fake breakout. First there, grab some liquidity around that level there, probably that last candle there, and then push into sales for most of the pennants. That's how they react. So if I know that, if I can anticipate something like that, it has to be on H4. H4 has to give me this fake breakout to go to that confluence area, of which it will be clearly seen as this on H4. Clearly seen as that on H4 right there. That would be the area. That will be the area right there. So how do I anticipate this? H4, it It's not yet oversold according to CCI. If I go to H1, and then I will be anticipating an inverted heads and shoulder right about there. This is a head, this is the neckline right there. So how do I make this payout? How do I do that? That is the neckline there. I enter my buys right now. In as much as I'm seeing that the sales on H1 are not yet oversold, but clearly H1 is showing me it is showing me heads and shoulder, and we have 2 minutes for the next candle, the next H1 candle to start. And clearly, if this is a heads and shoulder, then if it's not a fake heads and shoulder, then I'm going to make my entry right there. I'm going to make my buy entry, and I'll put my stop loss here. In fact, I'm going to make another one, 0.5. Yeah, I'll make one of 0.5, and I will need to get that one and get its stop loss. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I've done there. I've entered according to H1, and I'm hoping it's going to be, it hasn't given me a confirmation, you know, of a right shoulder creation, but I'm anticipating it. So that's why I've entered here. So if I am right, this candle should be a spike candle to take us into the buys. If this is going to be an inverted heads and shoulder, that's why I've entered with buys here. I'm just anticipating an inverted heads and shoulder. Then if that's going to happen, we haven't gotten an entry yet. That's why I'm not telling you guys to enter now, because there's no confirmation yet for it. But if it happens, then we are going to have a spike, and once we have a spike, whether on M5 or M15, that will be enough confirmation for you guys to enter. Me, I'm just looking for a sniper entry to take on this if it ends up being a what? If it ends up being an inverted heads and shoulder, and I'll be looking for this kind of a buy right there, that buy. So I will leave it right there. If it's not going to be an inverted heads and shoulder, then it's going to continue, and probably it will even take me out. Yeah, so that's it on this asset. Let me now go to V25S. Please, I hope you've not entered, because it's not yet a confirmed inverted heads and shoulder. I don't want you to make that mistake. Me, I'm looking for a sniper entry kind of move on that level. Yeah. Let me now go to V25S. V25S. Right, Vol25S, I gave a signal yesterday. Let's first look at it. Yesterday, M15, this is where we were. So I told you if we get any retest candle right here yesterday, then we enter buys to take us to that trend line and we move out. That's what I said, and that's what I did right there. Hit my target and moved out. Then when it gave us a breakout, when it gave us this, I was of course anticipating the sales to come in inside. Then I made a sell, and that's the loss we made. Actually, we made a loss here because I told the guys on VIP, you need to enter a loss but have a tight stop loss, because the structure can change and continue with the buys, and that's what happened. It took us out immediately with that tight stop loss, and that H1 candle closed outside. That H1 candle closed outside right there. It closed outside. So I knew we are now going to see buys. So went all over into buys, then reacted back inside. And then right there I made another entry, another buy entry right here. I don't remember if I shared that, but I think I did with the VIP guys. And it kept on playing around. I later saw that it was giving us it was giving us a pennant, and that's when I decided to keep in it even when I went to bed. I left it. One thing I don't normally do. I left it and it hit TP right there. Right there, it hit my TP overnight. So it actually hit my TP this morning. Let me see around what time. Around 3, 4, 5, around 5 a.m. in the morning. So that's when it hit TP. So I woke up with profits already. So that's how I managed that trade. So enough of yesterday. Now let's look at today. Let's look at today. Those who have undergone mentorship program with me, you guys know all that, how we anticipate pennants, how we use them, how we use chart patterns to trade. So that's what I did right there. So now that we know we have that, we've broken actually out of that. Price on CCI says according to H1 says we are overbought, and according to H4 we may actually see this was a breakout right there. So what is it that we want now? Change of character, pull back. Now we have a break of structure. This can be seen as a break of structure right there. Yeah, break of structure right there. So we need a pullback to the breaker broke, and then we continue with the sell, the buys. We need a pullback here, and then we continue with the buys. Yeah, so that's why H1 is giving us something like that, and that's why M15 is going to be giving us a signal to actually enter the sell. So can we wait for that signal? Let's look at M5. Not yet. So we have to wait for a signal to sell this. We can wait for it on M5 and just wait for something like that. Of course, you know the drill, guys. And then we'll come in with a sell. So for now, it's a no-go. We have no business with this until we have a good signal that we can enter to bring a retracement sell. Remember, this is going to be a retracement sell. The general trend currently, it is a buy. the general trend currently is a buy. So whatever you do, know that you're looking for buys. That's the general trend. So this is just a pullback. This is going to be just a pullback or a retracement. So you need to have your TP level like that, and of course the second one all the way down here. Those will be your TP levels. But you can't enter sales unless you have a confirmation on M5, and that's what we will wait for. And if you think you have a good account, you can risk, but you'll be risking, you'll not be having a good entry point. Price is not yet even below a 10 MA. It's not a good thing, so you need at least to have a clear entry. Of course, on M1 it was there. That was the signal on M1 right there. That was a change of character on M1. But is it enough? No. Do we trade M1? I don't normally trade M1, so I would love a pullback there according to M5, and then yeah, that will now help me if I see at least a signal on M5 that can help me to actually make my decision. So for now, no decision at all. Leave it until I have a clean signal. V75 is where we are at now. V75. Please, if you don't mind, give us a thumbs up, and if it is your first time here, please don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to add on to the community. All right, so V75, what were we looking at yesterday? Let's first start with yesterday. Those who remember, I told you we are going to see continuation, but it was sort of like a fake breakout or a continue or fake breakout, because we were on that support and then get back into that for that retracement and then continue with the sell. That was a move right there. Let me go to H1, show it to you. That was a move. Fake breakout here, I mean, it was actually not a fake breakout. This kind of move right here, right there, that was what we were looking at, because that was seen like just like a flag. Come here, then retest back, test that level, and then we continued sales. But we did not actually see that. The momentum of sales was strong, so it did that, played around that level until it gave us a break of structure right here, break of structure right there, and then continued with sales, break of structure again until it reached the other support level, the other H4. That was an H4 support level. In fact, it is even a daily one. Yeah, so it reached that, and that's when the buy momentum was seen. So I can delete everything right here and right there. Now we know we have reached that support. This one was broken out, and now I can even take away that. Let's see, what am I dealing with now? All right, daily time frame. This was the move. Now we have come back into sales. According to daily, we clearly see this. We clearly see this to push for the oversold level. But are we ready for it? Let's go to weekly. What are we looking for? We are looking for buys. We are looking for buys. Okay, it's weird. This was not a break of structure. This was a change of character, and it gave us a high, but that high found a resistance up there. So according to weekly time frame, this was a change of character, then reached there, then came back, gave us a retest right here and went, but then found another resistance right there. So what is that resistance? Let me first take this out, even that out. What is this resistance right here? Go to daily. Okay, that was a pullback. So price is likely to come back here, to come to this other weekly order block. Wow. Will we see enough momentum to break through and come to this? Let's see. Now that we know that, let's now drag this to that. See the pullback level. That's a pullback. We left some liquidity there according to daily. According to daily time frame, we left some liquidity there. So we will be anticipating that, and then probably brings us to this weekly order block, and then hopefully we can see now enough momentum to break and go all the way back up. So let's go to H4. H4 is not yet giving us a signal to actually enter buys. H1, however, is giving it, but not yet ready to give us to enter it. Still a bit slow. So I would wait for this. I would wait on this asset. I would actually wait for H4 to give me the signal to enter the pullback. Although sometimes we don't get that, like here, we never saw it. It actually went straight without giving us any signal. So we might as well see the same even here. So go to M15. M15, yeah, M15 is overbought on CCI. M30 still going in for buys. So I'm not going to trade this. It's not worth a risk. We leave it, but we know if we can get a pullback here, then we can make our trade. We can make our entries for the buy. If it decides to give us such a pullback right here on H4, that will be enough confirmation to enter buys to take us right up there, right there into that fair value gap of daily time frame. So enough of VIT 75. Let's now head over to Jump 50. Jump 50. Now Jump 50, it gave me a loss, and because of the tight SL that I normally give, and then immediately decided to go in. So let's first start from the actual analysis. I myself made big losses right here. I think that was on Tuesday, yeah. But then I knew what it was doing. It was looking for the liquidity of the early sellers right there. When it got it, look at the momentum of sales that came in. So it actually gave us that kind of a pattern. When I saw that, I knew we are coming in with the actual, with the very actual analysis I had told you about. This breakout, retest, then we continue with sales. And yesterday we saw actually the breakout right there. This is no longer valid now. That support has been broken. Now, all we need is a pullback to where? To such a level right there. That's what we are going to look at. But before we go to that, let's look at yesterday. So now I can delete this. We no longer need it. Now yesterday on M15, let's go to M15. We saw this. So I wanted a pullback to this level so that I can enter. So it reached, but then it was still having some good momentum. So when it came back to this once more after reaching there. When it came back to here, I entered. Immediately it took me out and went all the way back to that high. Let me show you that. So I made my entries right here, thinking it is done reacting, retesting I mean. Now we are going to come in with that kind of a sell. It took me out, went up, and of course, as usual, I have my tight stop loss. I don't want to, when I lose, to lose big. Yeah, so it took me out and it came to the previous highs right there. Immediately I knew I had my entry. I made another entry, although I did share it with the signal guys. That's why we have to recover this loss today, because they made that loss. I don't know if any of them actually entered again, but this is what I had given them to sell, but we had a tight stop loss and we were taken out right there. So I never shared the second entry, and that means they never recovered. So I recovered using this entry right there to hit my TP immediately, and then decided to reverse right there. So let's now look at today and look at how we can recover yesterday's loss. Delete everything right there, delete everything right here. It hit TP right there, it hit TP right there, and now I can delete everything and remove the history. So let's go to H1. Now H1 is oversold. That's a good thing. I can even delete now. This is not needed anymore. I can bring this right here. I don't need it all the way there. So now we know that. Pull back, all we need is pull back here and then continue with a sell. Continue with a sell. But before we can actually confirm that, if I go to daily time frame, this was a break of structure right there. So if this was a break of structure right here, and this was a change of character, we had a reversal on the daily, then even though it left liquidity right here, where I've been waiting for some good time price to come and react to it, we may see a pullback here to continue. I'm just saying, because this is a break of structure. But since it has broken through and even went all the way back to this fair value gap, this is a fair value gap on a daily time frame, we might as well see pullback here and then continue to sell and come to mitigate this liquidity that it left back. So H4 is still showing us sells, which can give us the opportunity, the anticipation of this kind of move. According to H4, it is going to give us that anticipation. It's going to give us that kind of anticipation. If I go to H1, pull back there, I see another liquidity right here, but it's not that of a big deal. If I use this right there, then the pullback will be on this order block, on this right there. So I have those two levels, there or here. So all we need now is price to react from those levels and get us back into sells. Now, if price eventually breaks this liquidity zone, which is a fair value gap, then we know it's going to come all the way down below. We will know that it will come all the way down below to this other fair value gap, which is according to daily time frame right there. So for now, I will wait for confirmation to make this kind of move, that kind of buy right there. So I can even go to M5. I have no business with it currently, so I need a pullback here to give me a confirmation of this kind of move. So for now, no business with jump 50 until I get a pullback. Then I can make that buy to go all the way up there or to this other order block. So for now, wait on M5. Jump 25, we have about 7 minutes to close this. So jump 25. Jump 25 going to oh yes, jump 25, I think I made a loss yesterday also. Yes, I made it here. Now this was a trick that this played on me. Let me first take it out. This was a trick here. Let me show it to you. On H. This was a trend line according to daily time frame right there. And remember, we had seen a breakout. So we were looking for the pullback and hopefully we get back into sales. So I want you to have that at the back of your mind. Now, when we go to H4, price, of course, it had given us a change of character, this pullback, then continued buys, but then it had failed to break that support, that resistance up there. So it came down. When it came here, I thought we had an entry right here to continue actually with sales when it reacted on such a level right here. Let me see. According to H1, yeah, according to H1, it had given me a change of character on H1 right here, right there. That was a change of character pullback. Then we thought now we are coming in with sales because that is what I had anticipated earlier in the morning, right about there. So when it reached there, I knew I was coming in with sales, but the sales were short-lived. This sale right here then grabbed liquidity. Let me show you that. We grabbed liquidity on this fair value gap, on that fair value gap, and went all the way and gave us a break of structure, because this was not a clear break of structure right here. But now the break of structure was on this move that took me out. This was the move that took us out on our tight SL, on our SLs right there. Took me out and went all over into the buys. So that is another loss that we made yesterday that we have to look for recovery. We have to get recovery. So delete all that. And now there was another pullback that is on M15, but then breakout happened, gave us another break of structure. Price has reacted to that fair value gap as we speak right there. So delete this and that. Go back to H1. What is that? Previous high they were taken out, and currently we are seeing break of structures all over. So this is an H4 resistance level right here where we are. Are we going to see it broken out? I believe we are, because it's still having the buy momentum. Daily time frame is in a buy, and it's going to, those who remember when when we saw this, I told you most of the times when we see something like this, we normally anticipate this move. Those who remember me telling you that, we normally anticipate such a move. And it is the same move that we can anticipate coming right there. Those who remember that, we will see hopefully price to reach all the way there. That's why I have that up there waiting. Now, if we know that it's likely to continue with the buy, then what are we going to do? H1, I mean daily is in the buy. H4, however, it's still not clear. Still not clear of the buys. We are still not yet seeing a clear structure for the buys on H4. In as much as it is giving us breakout structures, weird ones, it's still not giving us. So here I can anticipate a pullback right there on H4, and that pullback is going to be on H1. Right where we are going to anticipate this to come here, and then of course to get up again until probably it goes back to this level. This was an order block. Actually, this was a fair value gap on daily time frame. It was mitigated, but it's likely to go back to it and even continue. So we don't know about that, but all we can do is to anticipate that and keep playing like that until it probably reaches there and even breaks it. So for now, if you go to H1, then you realize that we sort of have an entry. If I go to M15, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Please don't mind about the lines, how many lines I use in here. They help me to understand what I need to know. So for now, I know we are coming there, so I can delete that. This is a change of character right here. Pull back all the way back to that level, which is a fair value gap right in there, or back to that order block, whatever you want to use. So now the sell should be on. But is it on already on M5? Price is still not below a 10 MA. Should we wait for it? If we enter now, where would we put our stop loss? Will we be safe? Let's wait for the next H1 candle. That's when I will make a decision if I'm going to come in with this sell. I will wait for the next H1 candle. I will wait for the next H1 candle. So for now, I have no business with this. I need this sell, but I have no entry yet. This is a change of character, but not clear enough for me to give me the entry that I need. So I can't enter now. It may even go back a bit above there according to H1. So I just have to let it go for now and wait for a clean entry that I can use. Lastly is jump 10. Let's roll. Jump 10. So jump 10, it's a weird one, but it followed the way we had analyzed it. But did we make any entries? I think no. Yesterday I did not share any of jump 10. So what happened here? Yesterday we were looking for, this is yesterday, it was having a weird kind of move, but it reached there on that fair value gap, even though it did not reach half of it. That's what I was waiting for, actually, to reach half of it that I can enter. So I did not enter right there. Right here I would have entered for that sell, but did not reach that 50%. So went into sell, made a pullback again, then eventually we saw a breakout, a retest, and now a sell is sort of on, but before we can say it is on, we have that order block which is acting as a support as we speak. So first delete this. No. Before you delete it, let's delete these right there. Yeah, I've even deleted that, but we know it is there. So this here, according to H4, that was like a change of character right there, right here. Yep. Then went up there, found a resistance, came down, went up again, up, tested the fair value gap there, came down again, found a support that is holding, and now it is showing us buys. Now, I can delete this. I'm about to show you why this is a bit challenging. According to H4, we need buys looking at what CCI is showing us, but daily time frame, we are looking for sells. Did we leave any liquidity back? No. According to daily, we did not. According to H4, do we have any liquidity pending above there? No. What does that tell us now? It can only and only tell you one thing. Consolidation. Let's first go to weekly. Weekly is looking for sells, but yet this was like a change of character right there, which could be a reversal signal. Looking at that, what was happening there, that means the buys should be on. That means the buys should be on. Yes, the buys should be on. Why are we not seeing buys on the daily time frame? That is where I have a confusion from. That is where there is uncertainty right now where we are. But this, where we are, this can usher us into buys. Why? One may say this is the head, this is the left shoulder, this is the right shoulder, this is the neckline to push us into buys where we are currently. And the current H4 has started as a buy, even though the current daily candle is a sell. So let's go to H1. H1 is uncertain according to what we see on CCI, but this was a change of character here, which tells us we need to look for sells. So that will leave me to have my trend line right there. This will lead me to have my trend line right there, and this will be the business, and that will be a descending sort of triangle if we are going to see that. So that means price is going to come right there and probably come test in here and then probably give us that. So for now, I have no business with it, but I can have actually a business with it if I have a clean entry on M15, and I believe I do. I believe I do. Do I? Not really. Not yet. It's not yet. So I have no entry yet. I have no entry yet. So it's a no-go for me. But I know we are likely to get an entry for this kind of move, for that kind of a buy. So for now, I'm not going to do anything. I'll just wait for M5 to give me that entry, and I'll be ready to make that buy. So right here, I can anticipate that it's kind of going to come around here, and it may not even go back down all the way here. It may just go in between here and give us a breakout. So you can wait and see what happens around such a level right here. We may get an entry just around here and get into the buys. All right, I think that's enough for today. We'll leave it at M5 because we need buys to take us all the way to that trend line. So for now, leave it on M5 or M15, and let's do the recap and we call it a day. Please, if you don't mind, like I said, you give us a thumbs up as we wind up today's session. And of course, those who want to join, this is a week that you should be joining the Signals platform, and you subscribe $15 per month. Or if you want to join the mentorship program and get to access the knowledge I have in the markets and the way we analyze, the way we trade, then you have an opportunity to join the class that is ongoing already, the June class 2025. You only need to pay $110, or if you want the VIP, which is a one-on-one, and you dictate your time of study, then you pay $300. Enough of that. Let's look at what we said on crash. All right, so now we are talking. We missed that on M5. We should have entered from there. That would have been a sniper entry, but never mind. We are seeing this pullback right there. We are seeing that pullback right there. So at the close of this current M15 candle, we are likely to make an entry of a sell. So remember that it's remaining with about 6 minutes for this candle to close, and then we probably can get an entry for the sell to bring us here. We missed that entry right there. We should have come back before. Yeah, we should have come back before that, but we missed. So let's wait and see what happens here. Boom 1000. We wanted price to reach there, and we come in with a sell. It hasn't reached that level yet, so we wait. Boom 500. The spike actually happened, and it has now come back again. The spike happened, so we are hopefully going to see buys. That was the spike right there, just like I had said, that was a spike. So if we see another spike here, this will be a confirmation of an inverted heads and shoulder. Then you will be able to make your entries. I made my entries. We went in for that floating loss. I entered here. This was a floating loss. Then a spike followed, and now we clearly see the sell is on. So if this candle closes and another one starts, and it may be a spike actually, another candle that starts, it's likely to be a spike. So if you want, you can enter now and put your stop loss right here. Put your stop loss below this candle here, if you want, so that if it is not going to be an inverted heads and shoulder, you move out with small losses right here, not all the way down below. Are we together there? I hope we are, and we can make that money. So you can make your entries now. All right, that is on Boom 500. Let's go to V25S. Oh man, it did not give us an entry. It kept with M1, so we've missed that. We wait. If we see any pullback, whether on M15 or what, we'll have to make that sell, because we are going to be in a sell to come all the way here. V25S. This we need a pullback, then an entry. We are waiting on probably H4, probably even M15. Yeah, M15, if it gives us a pullback, we can make a buy entry, because we know we are looking for that kind of a buy. But it is slow. I don't know if we will see some good momentum later, but for now it is very slow. Jump 50, pullback here, entry for the short sell. That will be a short sell right there to later get into, a short buy to later get into sells right there. Why? Because we know that we are likely to sell it all the way to this other fair value gap on the daily time frame. That is a liquidity it left back. So leave this on probably M15. And this one is a no-go for now. We need a clear entry. So that's the reason why I told you I can't enter now, because you can see now what price is doing. So I can't enter now. I will just have to wait for a bit more of clarity of this entry if I'm going to sell this. So for now, it's a no-go for me. Jump 10, I said we will wait. Oh, don't tell me it has given it to us. It did not reach. This candle did not reach where we wanted it to reach. So we are not yet ready to make that entry. No, we are not yet ready. Until it reaches at least 61.8, that's what I'll be waiting for. But until then, I have no business with this. I need to make a buy entry, but no confirmation yet. I need it to reach such levels right there, and then I can make the entry to buys. So for now, I will leave it on M5. All right, I think that's it for today. Please don't mind, if you don't mind, go ahead. Like I said, if you haven't given us a thumbs up, give us a thumbs up. It helps YouTube to push us, the YouTube algorithm to push us as we grow the community together. And of course, if you love the content of this channel, share it with a friend. Let them know that they can always come around, get free signals as we trade, and we trade together. Otherwise, let me wish you guys a good day. If you want to join our community, there is a link in the WhatsApp link in the description. You can use that to join our community, our WhatsApp channel. But also, there is a link if you don't have an account of deriv. There's a link in the description that you can use to join, to use the broker that I use, which is deriv. You can deposit a minimum of $5. That is a minimum of $5. You can deposit on deriv a minimum of $5, meaning you can trade with $5. Yeah, but even if you have some money, you can trade as low as even $1. You can be able to enter a trade depending on the asset you are on. So please be reminded that when you use that link and as you're trading, I'll be gaining just cents of commission when you're making money. When you make money, I will be getting some little bit of commission. So I give you a heads up. So if you want to support me, you can go ahead and use the link or share the link to your friends who want to register us, because I'm an affiliate of deriv. They don't pay me, but if you register, I get paid when you're making money. So if you come here and we get a signal you make money, I also make small coins, small cents of what you make. So that's it. It's a support. I hope you understand that. Anyways, let me wish you guys a good day. Happy trading. See you tomorrow same time, 10:30 to 11:30. Bye-bye. you.